Hello everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to be with all of you once again. This video is in continuation of the methods of doing social sciences that we had done earlier, and in that series the first one that I had done with you was on acrostic poems. So today's video is about another tool that enhances the teaching learning process in the social science classrooms, and it is called mind mapping. Social sciences as a discipline is very challenging at times, especially because of the content. So most of the students, if the feedback that you get from most of the students is that the subject is very lengthy. So that challenge of social science can be very easily met with this visual tool called mind mapping. So today's video is about mind mapping. What is mind mapping? How it is helpful? And I'll also be showing you some of the handmade mind maps. So in today's world, actually you can make it in two ways. So either you can make it digitally or you can make it by hand. I prefer making it by hand because that's a very good way of doing things yourself and retaining everything for a very longer period of time. So mind mapping, the very word mind map, actually we owe all of it to Tony Buzan. So Tony Buzan was the person who had started this whole thing about mind mapping. So introducing this tool to you, and hope that you all are going to use it in your daily lives and equip yourself better for any subject that you do, any exam that you take. A mind map is an important tool for optimum learning. Social sciences are considered lengthy considering the huge amount of content one has to deal with. In that respect, mind maps help handle large amounts of complex information, creatively making learning very simple. So, are you wondering what is a mind map? A mind map is a visual thinking tool that displays our ideas in a visual form, usually around a central word, phrase, or image. It helps us to organize, structure, and recall information. In this manner, it boosts our productivity by helping us to generate ideas and analyze them better, keeping the big picture in mind. Mind maps can be created by hand or digitally in minutes. Both ways are great for sparking creativity. Tony Buzan is the man behind the mind maps. Towards in the description box, you will find some of the useful links to access Tony Buzan's videos on mind maps. Tony Buzan was born in London in 1942 and graduated from the University of British Columbia in 1964. While developing his understanding of the human mind, he studied psychology, neurophysiology, neurolinguistics, semantics, information, perception, and general sciences. In 1971, Tony realized that a new computer came with a 1,000-page manual while humans were born with a brain billions of times more powerful than computers, but without a manual. It was then that he began to visualize an operating manual for the brain, and the concepts of mind mapping began to emerge. So, how does a mind map work? Our thought processes are also similar to mind mapping because thinking is associative. Each thought leads to another thought. So, if you think books, not only does your brain form images of it, but it also triggers emotions and sensations connected to it. This further paves way for other thoughts. You think, books? I need to buy some books for my son's birthday. Oh no, I forgot to call on her birthday. Phone, it needs urgent repair, etc. The chain of thoughts goes on and on and on. Mind maps too help us think because they show connections, and it's these interlinkages that help us learn better. So, mind maps are important because they increase our ability to remember a concept. It gives a big picture, it reduces the duration to learn, it helps in bridging the learning gaps, it helps maximize our creativity, it helps to see connections, it connects new ideas, it organizes ideas, and it's a very, very handy way to take notes during lectures. And it also assists greatly in planning our studies, and also these useful graphics make studies even more interesting. As far as skills is concerned, they help you refine your creative and critical thinking skills. So if one goes back to, one has to take one of the examples. So for example, if you take Revolt of 1857, in Revolt of 1857, you would find it very, very challenging to study and remember all aspects of a historical event. So if you had to read the history of Revolt of 1857, you would cover its causes, you would cover its consequences, nature, failure, etc. And that's it. And once the exam is over, you are done with it. So what stays with you is a vague remembrance, a scattered memory of a few events. But when you make a mind map of the event, it's easier to remember all the aspects. So here's this handmade mind map by me, which shows you how to summarize the entire event and use keywords to outline the entire history behind the Revolt of 1857. So if you look closely, there's a central idea, and those ideas branch off into different events related to the main event of the Revolt of 1857. Similarly, the First World War, it's not an event that takes place in isolation. So there are causes of the First World War, there's a course of the war, and there are consequences of the war. So what would otherwise come in, say, 10 pages, you have the entire history of the First World War on one page in form of a mind map. Similarly, non-aligned movement, it's a similar handmade mind map where we are talking about the non-aligned movement. And when you actually look at a text which would have many pages, a mind map makes it very, very easy because you write the entire history on a single page. And it's also, the retention also is much more than how when you read a textbook in comparison to reading a textbook. So, a mind map is a creative way of putting together one's thought. It can easily be done in 5 simple steps: the central idea, then adding branches to the central idea, adding keywords to the branches, and color coding your branches. And if you wish, you can also add visual signifier, which also makes it very, very interesting. So, with these simple 5 steps, your mind map is ready. So with this video, I leave you with a thought or the concept of mind mapping, and I hope that you will use this tool as frequently as possible. And in the next video, we will learn how to make mind maps. So I'll make a simple mind map for you step by step so that you can start making your own mind maps with and become as creative as possible in handling your own subject or topic that you're doing. So happy mind mapping. For any further discussion, for any other thought that comes to your mind related to mind mapping, please connect at snehisi@gmail.com. So see you, bye for now, and we'll be meeting with my next video as soon as possible. Thank you, goodbye.